Good evening, good evening, good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. And if you watched my Instagram today, you know that I spent basically from the morning all the way into the afternoon at Silver Dollar City with my mom, and I took a lot of pictures. And I got me a candle. These are homemade. This one smells like Flossie's funnel cake. So let me. Flossie's funnel cake. You just take it off, and it's an old jar too. So you have to undo this part and take this off. Oh my god, tomorrow I'm gonna be craving funnel cake. I just know it. I just know it. Got some other cool stuff from there as well. I might show that another time. I'm a little bit tired. We actually left early because both of us were like, oh my god, my legs are burning. But anyways, they had a lot of their fall crafts out, and I got a shot of the blacksmith shop and inside the candle shop and a few other cool shots as well. I didn't go on any of the rides because it is fall and I didn't want to freeze to death, and nothing is worse in life than wet jeans. It's a sensory nightmare from hell. I'm just saying, sensory nightmare from hell. So I feel a lot more energized, and for once, I don't have to get up disturbingly early tomorrow because, cider days is tomorrow. And that's down here where I live out on Walnut Street in the downtown area. So, yeah. And then I has my kitten here. He's taking his usual spot, peoples. You don't want to say hi to the peoples? Yoish. Yoish. Okay. He keeps me calm. He sits like right here in the corner, right at the edge of the computer where you can't see, and he keeps me calm when I talk about the JRC or Agape, because he's a good kitty. Alright, to the disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to see the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 people, ABA professionals, in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Center's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has, of course, refused, so you know the drill. Please share on all your social media. We also have the link to NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat and a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. Sorry, my foot. Oh, God. I'm tired now. Anyways, we also have the links to the Agape boarding school situation. Speaking of, Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens that has and pending 21 lawsuits against it alleging sexual abuse, physical abuse, child exploitation, starvation, among many others. As of right now, they have had one staff member arrested by the FBI. Another is a doctor who's facing multiple charges of sodomy and sexual abuse against the kids at the school. We still are waiting till the 21st to see what's going to happen. Are they going to close it down or not? So please look at those links, share on all your social media. Also, we have the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. Please sign that and share as well. We also got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Also, we mark this channel 18 and up for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subjects on this channel. If your children are below the age of 18, parental advisory, all right? It's not my job to parent your kids. All right? It's your job. I don't filter myself for anybody, except maybe my nieces and nephews, but that kind of goes without saying. They're young. All right. It is 4:55. I've been walking for 6 hours straight. I'm up like very steep hills. So I'm happy, energized, and yet exhausted. So if I stumble over my words, apologies in advance, folks, all right? Okay, so we're going to read 2 paragraphs, which are more than likely going to make me rant a lot. So, to where we left off yesterday. All this works together to create a positive frame of mind for the student. The student's entire life is now turned around. Students who came to JRC with a diagnosis of depression are no longer depressed. Really? Because Andre McCollins, Jennifer Masamba, and Tori Andre Amos, they all beg to differ, JRC. I'm going to tell you from personal experience, by the way, how easy it is to fool some of these teams they have come at you. When I was a kid, they told my mom to take me to a psychologist. Not because they thought I was autistic, but because she doesn't hang out with anybody her own age. She just sits there and reads during recess. You want to know the reason why that was, folks? I was horrifically bullied throughout all of elementary school. The last thing I wanted to be fucking doing was going out there during recess and playing with the kids who made my school life fucking miserable. But teachers didn't see things like that back then. You know, it will build character. Thanks a lot. So my mom takes me to this psychologist. And I didn't know it was what I was doing at the time, but what I did was I put on a little mask. And I became a little charmer. I only went to one meeting with that psychologist. And then it was made known to my teacher that I was not the problem, but that more than likely I was being bullied by those kids. It's not hard to make someone think that you're in a positive frame of mind. It's not very difficult for someone who's used to building masks to dealing with the outside world to be able to fake positivity. It's exhausting. You fucking hate yourself by the end of the day, but it is not impossible and can be done. What they're saying here, more than likely, are coming from students who built masks for survival. It's a trait that all of us at one point or another develop. We will build fucking masks, as exhausting, as deplorable, as dehumanizing as it fucking is to have to do so, to be able to survive. And we all start doing it pretty damn young. I would say it's not very long living in this place that you get to get a run of what type of people these people are who's running it. So what are you going to do? You're going to show them what they want to see. Right? Because if you show them what they want to see, maybe you'll get out of there faster. It's not that difficult, especially for people who are as stupid as the JRC with their nonsensical behavior modification program. If they actually ever sat down and thought about it, they would realize that being under threat of abuse, torture, and starvation is not going to lead to a more positive frame of mind. What it's going to lead to is us learning, forcing ourselves to have to act so that they don't think we're depressed. Because we all know what they do to those of us they think are depressed or problems, right? Considering it is their very programs and programs with ABA that force us to learn how to mask and how to pretend to be normal for certain periods of time. It's their programs. They teach us how to do this. But the fact of the matter is, JRC, you can't change our neurology. We are what we are. I can fake going around and being normal probably for several days on end if I have to, but at the end of the day, I still am what I am. I still have the same triggers that I've always had, and the only thing I've actually learned to do is how to pretend to be somebody else and push all that down until it fucking explodes. I can go extremely long periods without a meltdown or behaviors because I was forced to learn how. But when it builds up and up and up and up, eventually the dam bursts. And you don't want to be there when the dam bursts. Because those are the times, folks, where I, this tiny little girl, am able to pick up a full-size couch and throw it to a fucking wall. That's when everything around me becomes destroyed. It's not that they are curing these kids of depression. It's that these kids are learning how to fake it until they can get the hell out of there. But eventually, all of that shit is going to come to a head. And it usually ends in meltdown or burnout, depending on how long and how much you've pushed down and forced yourself not to react to. And that's coming from personal experience. I know what that's like to have to do. When you're one of us and you've also dealt with abuse in your life for a very long period of time and you finally get out of there, the dam burst, meltdown and burnout. Meltdown and burnout. And burnout, folks, causes permanent issues, physical issues. You can come back from it, but the effects are lasting. But let's move on to the next sentence here. This finding is confirmed in the research literature. Students treated with supplementary aversive within a program that is otherwise massively positive tend to be happier and more relaxed. Some students actually welcome the use of the GED shock device, perhaps because it helps them to control self-mutilating behaviors. Many of our higher functioning students ask to go on the GED because they see how much it helps the other students. I'm supposed to believe this? Who's the source? Oh, I know who it is. Trust me, bruh. Trust me. Nobody in their fucking right mind is going to ask to be tortured, JRC. That is a bunch of fucking garbage, and you know it. Nobody wants to sign up to be tortured. Are you outside your fucking mind? But they're happier and more relaxed. Really? Are they? Because Andre McCullen's screams do not sound happy or relaxed to me when he's fucking begging you to stop. While he is screaming, being tortured into fucking catatonia. What about poor Linda Cornelison? 80,000 adversives in one single fucking night. You think she was more positive and relaxed because of adversives? What about the other kids who live with post-traumatic stress disorder because of what you have done to them? You think strapping a kid on a 4-point board and forcing them to endure that, you think that makes them happy and more relaxed? You think someone like my ass is going to go asking for it? Are you on crack? How fucking dare you? How dare you, with your whole chest, sit there and tell me they want it? It's the same line I've heard abusers use, actually. Oh, they want to be abused. They like it. I haven't heard often, but I have heard it. And look, they're more positive because I'm showing them how to behave. I'm showing them their place. And isn't that what the JRC is really doing? Isn't that what schools like Agape and JRC are really doing here? To show people like us what they think our place is. Isn't that what it really is? How to be good, compliant, quiet little disabled people behind closed doors, never telling anyone no. Oh, but look at them. They're happy. They're relaxed. Because what happens if we're not, JRC? What happens if we're not? What happens if we don't pretend for you? What happens if we decide not to play your games? What happened to Andre McCollins? I'm going to close out on that note. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. Now, before I close out, JRC, what you are monsters. And the fact that you sit there and you justify the screams of Andre McCollins begging for you to stop as happy and relaxed. The fact that Jennifer Masumba risked her life to fucking run. These kids that risk their fucking very lives to go against you. Oh, but it leads to happier more productive lives, and less depression, your narrative doesn't meet the facts. All right, folks. Again, I do hope you have a good one. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.